Shalom, Yasha Allah. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, the honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, push this great gospel in sincerity and truth. This your brother Tazakai from Great Millstone, Indianapolis, coming at you another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Got an article here from NBC News. It reads, Biden to deploy FEMA National Guard as part of national vaccination plan. It says Biden has said that his goal is for 100 million of the Crown Royale vaccines to be administered within the first 100 days of his presidency, right? And we understand that, hey, man, he already, he was already, making moves before he was actually inaugurated. Well, let's go ahead and dive into this article, to see what it's all about. So it reads, so like I said, this is before his presidency. Of course he's been inaugurated, but it reads, President-elect Joe Biden on Friday said he would deploy the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the National Guard to help set up vaccine clinics across the U.S. as part of an ambitious plan to get jabs to millions of Americans. Reminding the public that help is soon on the way. In a speech from Wilmington, Delaware, Biden outlined a 5-part plan to turn frustration to motivation that will get the U.S. out of the pandemic. It reads, under the plan, the White House would enlist the support of FEMA and the National Guard to set up thousands of community vaccination sites to help states vaccinate more people. Now, remember, this article came out on the 15th, and they already been, setting these type of, like I said, we already know they got the concentration camps, the FEMA camps. But of course, they got to, gradually ease into it, But ultimately, they already done started doing this over there in Missouri, And like I said, this article going to explain basically what they plan to use these troops for, because you got to understand, they ain't, them troops wasn't just for the peace and security of the inauguration. No, they over here for an actual agenda, and which we go soon understand, Lord willing, through this article. And it reads, to support states, Biden said the federal government would fully reimburse states for their use of the National Guard. Also under the plan, Biden will also jumpstart efforts to make vaccinations available in all pharmacies across the country and will launch mobile vaccination clinics designed to specifically reach underserved urban and rural areas. Now understand, well, matter of fact, it's going to go into who's in those areas. Cause like I said, they're gonna make them mobile. So, hey, like I said, the military personnel, they gonna be on the go, going from house to house. Hey, to me, sound like going into that that insurrection. Second as 16, Lord will we get into that. But moving on, it says, as we build them, we will make sure it's done equitably, Salaki. It says, we'll make sure there are vaccination centers in communities hit hardest by the pandemic and Black and Latino communities. See? Coming at you Israelites. They also stated about the Native Americans as well, and rural communities as well, he said Friday. The plan will also launch new ways of getting jabs to high-risk people like homeless people, incarcerated people, and residents of institutions that serve developmentally and intellectually disabled people. In addition, Biden vowed to use the Defense Production Act to help ramp up the supply of various vaccines. So, hey, that's going into that, Operation Warp Speed, so they want to, they want to distribute it, as fast as they can. They also want it to be produced as fast as they can. That's what that production act is going into, pretty much expanding, the supplies, the materials that's needed to, fulfill their, their agenda. It says, we didn't get into all this overnight. We won't get out of it overnight either, Biden said, while unveiling the plan, but we will get through it. So, like you said, it sounds like it's some peace and safety talk right here, And it reads, I am convinced we can get it done. And this is the time to set big goals and to pursue them with courage and conviction because the health of the nation is at stake. He added, Biden has said that his goal is for 100 million jabs of Crown Royale vaccines to be administered within the first 100 days of his presidency, which will be the end of April. So hey, we shall see. Biden's plans also proposes mobilizing more medical staff to help administer vaccines, including retired healthcare workers. So they want people to come out of retirement to help. Like I said, hey man, hey, like I said, you Jakes, man, you hated Trump so much, but man, this new devil that y'all selected, that y'all leaning onto, man, he gonna basically show that you regret it and who you side with. Ultimately, you're not supposed to side with these devils, but of course, 2/3 are people. Hey, they still stand upon their oppressor. They trust in the Esau. And it reads, Biden's plan, while relying in part on federal resources, ultimately gives more power to states to accelerate, right, their vaccine disbursement as quickly as they can. We'll fix the problem by encouraging states to allow more people to get vaccinated beyond healthcare workers and move through these groups as quickly as states think they can. That includes anyone 65 and older, Biden said Friday. Health experts and government officials at the state and local levels have said that the Trump administration bungled the distribution of the vaccines. Biden said Friday that the vaccine rollout in the United States has been a dismal failure so far and never had a strategy. As of Thursday, more than 30 million vaccination jabs distributed nationwide, but just over 11 million people had received their first jabs. Damn. According to the centers, the CDC. So, man, they like these devils, man, they gonna roll out. And they say, over the last week, Trump administration officials finally began giving Biden's team access to critical Crown Royale vaccination data. After weeks of requesting to attend Operation Warp Speed vaccine briefings last week, Trump officials finally allowed Biden's representatives to attend. See, this is the thing. This what shows you that no matter what, like, we understand about that lamb having those two horns, speaking like a dragon. We understand that both those parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, man, they synonymous. They working with each other. They walk into the same building. You know what I'm saying? So while y'all thinking, oh, he for these people and he from this side, they side, man, they all in this together, man. Man, y'all need to, you need to wake up, or not. But going on, it reads, it's a lot, yeah. Where was I at? Okay, yeah. According to a person familiar with the plans, and as of Thursday, the Biden transition team has not yet obtained access to the Defense Department's vaccination plans for the military. The source said the death toll from the pandemic and case count continues to climb. For several days in a row this week, it exceeded 4,000 deaths. According to the NBC News Crown Royale data tracker, over 390,000 people have died from it, and there have been more than 23 million cases. So now, like I said, now the numbers is over 400,000. Like I said, remember, this article is from the 15th. So pretty much each and every day, 4 to 5,000 new cases and people, 4 to 5,000 more deaths. If you pay attention to the, their little pattern. And it reads, later in this speech, Biden blasted House Republicans for failing to wear a mask during the Capitol insurrection. Where it been times where he been on TV, he had no mask on either, But it says, resulting in 4 Democrats testing positive. What the hell is the matter with them? It's time to grow up, he said. For God's sake, wear a mask if not for yourself, for your loved ones, for your country. You guys are demons. Meanwhile, security concerns have postponed a dress rehearsal for his inauguration on Wednesday. The inaugural rehearsal that was scheduled for Sunday has now been postponed until Monday because of those concerns, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. Politico First reported the postponement. Asked by reporters in Wilmington as he walked off the stage following his vaccine plan remarks if he felt safe for Wednesday's inauguration based on the intelligence he's seen, Biden replied yes. Biden also said that he and Jill Biden are ready for inauguration. The president-elect said his team has also been in touch with the Senate parliamentarian as he pushes for his nominees an agenda to be confirmed, while the chamber is likely to pursue a Trump impeachment trial, right? There has been discussion about moving the event inside. Well, actually, you know what? Let me see how much more. I guess we just read the rest of it because, like I said, most of this already have happened anyway. Like I said, he's the actual president, but I'm gonna just read it for the sake of it, for that. So say, but source said, but a source said Biden would prefer to stay outdoors. I have a lot of confidence, a great deal of confidence in the ability of the Secret Service and the other assets supporting them to make this inauguration a safe one. Which is, the inauguration is a satanic ritual in itself, but that's for another lesson. And it reads, incoming White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain said during the interview with the Washington Post, Trump is expected to leave the White House that morning foregoing a ceremony. The Vice President Mike Pence will attend, and the source told NBC News that there is supposed to be a brief moment between him, Biden, and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris and her husband, Doug Emhoff. They say in a primetime speech Thursday, Biden laid out a $1.9 trillion relief package that he wants Congress to quickly pass to help people who are struggling from the Crown Royale pandemic. The plan will provide $1,400 direct payments and include an extra $400 per week for people who are unemployed. It will also raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, also, I've seen a source where it said you pretty much gotta get that vaccine to get this, get that package. So, hey man, what you gonna do, But we know 2/3 they don't give a damn. I done had jazz before, so what's this? I'm gonna get some money for it. So, like I said, a lot of 2/3, man, they right for the taking. And they say Biden will appoint lawyer David Cohen as deputy director of the CIA. A transition team official told NBC News Cohen previously served in a role for 2 years in the Obama administration, and unlike the position of the CIA director, this job doesn't require Senate confirmation, so he can start immediately. So, if you notice the pattern, a lot of things that Biden is into and passing, same thing was what Obama was into and passing. You know what we talking about, the alphabet people. So, just keep your eyes out on that. And they say a spokeswoman for the Capitol Police told NBC News Friday that complaints by Democrats that some Republican members of Congress led people through the Capitol on a reconnaissance tour of the building a day before the riot last week is under investigation. So, a lot of smoke screens, a lot of bullshit. Then it say the committee overseeing Biden's inaugural announced Friday morning several more speakers and performers for the primetime special that is expected to air between 8:30, and 10:30. Like I said, this all happened. It's all witchcraft. They say 10:30 Eastern Time on Wednesday, Eva Longoria and Kerry Washington will introduce segments throughout the night, ranging from stories of young people making a difference in their communities to musical performances. Foo Fighters, John Legend, Bruce Springsteen will perform from iconic locations across the country, joining Demi Lovato, Justin Timberlake, and Clemens, John Bon Jovi, with additional performances to be announced ahead of January 20, the committee said. So, like I said, all that inauguration, all those performances, hey, man, they was performing satanic rituals. But, at the end of the day, that's what that article had for us. Like I said, who are willing, it was edifying to you. So, without further ado, we going to get to these scriptures. So, one thing, this one thing that I did want to point out real quick, because he said, help is on the way. We gotta, we need to get over this. We ain't going. It didn't happen overnight, but we won't get over overnight. But help is on his way. So pretty much what he's doing, he's preaching that safety. He's preaching that security, right? And that's going into the scriptures. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and the seasons, right? So, let's just go into these prophecies, understanding the signs of the times. Ye have no need that I write unto you. Well, it say brethren, right? The brethren go back to the Israelites. Not Esau, hey, brother, we're brothers in Christ. No, this is talking about the Israelites. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the rest of the speckled bird that look like unto the heathens, that go back to the house of Israel, right? It says, For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, so cometh as a thief in the night. So, who are those who know? Those who are in this truth. And those of hopefully, and those of the elect, the hopeful elect, they know, right? The Lord come as a thief in the night, right? It's gonna come, he gonna come when everybody least expect it. But since we are in the know, we understand that he gonna come, that like when everybody least expect it. But even then, we gonna understand by the signs of the times. We gonna be able to tell when he's coming. We gonna understand when that day when he come. So we not gonna be taken as a thief in the night. But the rest of, like I said, these heathens and 2/3, they will. Verse 3, and here's the point. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, here's the thing: he preaching, man, help on his way, and then what normally happen when they preach this? Devastating things start to happen. Just like Trump, he was talking like last March. He was talking about, yeah, we're gonna tackle this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. What happened? Numbers done went up all the way to 400,000+ deaths. You see what I'm saying? So, as the scriptures say, man, they have preached peace and safety, but man, sudden destruction, right? So hey, we understand, and they say, I'll just might as well just read down a couple more. Say, but ye, brother, are not in darkness, like I was speaking. We not in darkness, that the day should overtake you as a thief. Why? Because we watching and also praying. Praying that, hey, man, the Lord keep the spirit on us, and that we able to stand in that day, that we able to endure to the end. Right? It says, verse 5, ye are all the children of light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor in darkness, right? Yeah, because we not out of the know. We not walking around here, like I said, happy-go-lucky, not knowing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And confused. If some people confused, don't know what the hell going on, but we not in darkness. We understand what's coming to pass because the Lord is supping with us, opening our eyes up to the things that's going on. Verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others. See, the others they spiritually sleep. They blind. They don't know what's going on, right? But let us watch and be sober. And that's what we're doing. We are to watch these prophecies. We are to watch these signs. That way we know, man, that the season's drawing nigh, that, hey, our salvation is drawing nearer than when we believe, right? So I was just hitting on that point. Like, yeah, they do all this preaching, peace and safety of that, and more destruction come. But ultimately, right, why they trying to implement the FEMA the National Guard troop? Well, pursuing the Revelation chapter 12 verse 12, it reads, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, right? Destruction, calamity. And like I said, the heavens, again, the heavens, symbolizing, the nation of Israel, brothers and sisters who's unpassed, even the angels, all of the hosts of heaven, they for us, they on our side. So they're, like I say, rejoice. So we rejoicing. Why? Because we understand that this devil's rulership is about to come down. He's about to be taken out of power. And they say, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau, Edom, is come down unto you, having great wrath. Why? Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. The elites know that they, man, like the scripture say, man, they have a set bound that they cannot pass. So what they're trying to do is speed this thing up, right? Operation Warp Speed, so they can fulfill their enterprise. But ultimately, we know that the Lord gonna disappoint that. He gonna disappoint the devices of the crafty. That's exactly what he gonna do. But that's why they got all these troops here, because they trying to move fast. See, they even said not only setting up vaccination sites, but setting up mobilized vaccination sites. They trying to be on the go with it. You see what I'm saying? These devils are scrambling, right? And like I said, ultimately, this going, hey, that's this whole theme of all this whole pandemic is basically to key in on you Jakes, you Israelites. They trying to come after you. And going to 2 Ezra 16, verse 68, it says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. That multitude is going to this military. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, going the enemies, right? That's why they brought over here. That's that multitude that's kindled over you. And they shall take away certain of you. So some of us gonna be taken away, right? To where? To these sites, to these camps, right? And feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Like, first and foremost, hey man, we understand that the major idol, is going into the mark of the beast, the microchip, the RFID microchip, or NFC microchip, right? But also, like I said, they can feed us with other things. Being like I said, even unclean foods can use that to tempt you while you're there. They can do that, and also this jab. That's another idol they're trying to feed up to you, because we understand ultimately, like I said, that's a sin. You know, so we know not. Hey, we know not to do those things, and Lord willing, the Lord keep the spirit on us to refuse that. It says, and they that consent unto them. So those who take their side, those who join unto them, and they that consent unto them shall be had derision and reproach and child undefended. Even if you do side with them. This is Esau, Edom we talking about. Scripture say what? Never trust thy enemy. Right? So ultimately, in trusting your enemy, what he gonna do? Man, he gonna overthrow you. He gonna undermine you. He gonna use you for what he can use you for, and he gonna, like I said, you still a Jake. So he gonna, hey, them your people, he gonna do you the same. After they get done using you, he gonna do you the same way that he gonna do to the rest of the Jakes. That's exactly what they do, like of the 2/3 mainly, because we understand that, ultimately, not too many evil, no evil is gonna come unto those who fear the Lord in peace and sincerity. Tribulation gonna come. We gonna have temptations, but He's not gonna allow nothing evil. And if we are martyred, then like I said, we died in Yahweh Shai. And we're going to be raised up when he come back or pull up with him. You get what I'm saying? So, but those who consider them, that's of the 2/3, man, they going to, like I said, they going to cash your ass aside once they use you, And it says this, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities, right? That's why they got. They said they going to, like he said, he's trying to get this, he trying that Defense Production Act, he's trying to spread that to all the pharmacies all over the country, yeah? And it says what? A great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Now, really quick, what is an insurrection? An insurrection is a violent uprising against an authority or governor, but this is going to be a violent uprising against those who fear the Lord. Like I said, these people are not your friends. These are our enemies, and they're going to come after us. And it says what? And how they going to be? They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Man, they're going to command Esau, man, he bear not the sword in vain. You see what I'm saying? They're going to come like madmen. Like I said, not sparing nobody. They don't give a damn how old you is, how young you are. Listen, if you don't do if you don't consent to what they want you to do, man, they got the green light to kill you. Right? But we understand, hey, well, we go, Lord willing, the Lord keep the spirit on us to, like I said, be steadfast in this thing. Right? And say, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. See, these people, like I said, we understand, like, not to do that panic buying, panic shopping. The Lord said his servants shall eat, right? So you got these other jakes who do what? Or really, it'd be Esau, Edom, but some jakes be following along because they be scared as hell too. Like them, what they do? Go hoarding all these things. But ultimately, the military, they're going to have the power to take your shit. That's what I say, for they shall waste and take away their goods. This is prophecy that's going to happen. So it's not maybe they'll do it. No, they are going to. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we're not in darkness. And it says what? And cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So ultimately, when this point in time happening, you're going to know who are the men of the Lord. The Lord going to make it known who are his people. And we understand ultimately coming out of Jacob's trouble, we're going to be going to World War III, and then the deliverance of the house of Israel and the destruction of this common eon. So again, like I said, these military troops, they are not over here for play. It's not over here for for looks. As the scriptures say, what? Isaiah, brothers and sisters should know where I'm going. Because this is that time we in. A lot of these scriptures are going to be, repetitive, so it can be sunk in your mind. Because ultimately when they do come grab some of us, hey, we may not have nothing. So we got to have these scriptures memorized in our mind. And it says Isaiah chapter 59 verse 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood. That's why these enemies, like I said, they're gonna be coming in like madmen, sparing none. Yeah, that's them enemies coming in like a flood, right? We know a flood is after what does floods do? They destroy things. You know what I'm saying? What the Lord do to the world in the beginning? What was the first death? A flood. So we know a flood can be dangerous and catastrophic, and that's how these people this military gonna come. They gonna come dangerous. Like I said, they gonna come with the intent to kill, with the intent to hurt if you don't consent to them, right? And some of them may just pop you if you do, consent to them. Like you don't know what they gonna do. But even with that happening, what does it say? The Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, shall lift up a standard against him. So when these things do come to pass, the Lord gonna make a way for you to get out of it. Rather if it be him giving you spiritual power, rather he give another brother or whatever spiritual power to help you out, or ultimately rather he send an angel, or they say we understand that Yahweh shall go come with the holy host of angels. So no matter the case it may be, we know in part, we prophesy in part, but like the Lord said, he gonna lift up a standard against them, meaning what? And when it all falls down, when it feel like it's when you're back against the wall, when it feel like, oh man, ain't nowhere to go, ain't nothing, but like I said, still keeping that faith and just believing, the Lord gonna send you, he gonna make a way out for you. He gonna lift a standard for you. He gonna be your pillar. He gonna be your foundation. He gonna be your support in that day. And it says what? And I just want to get this in because you know how these devils be. But in the verse 20, in the Redeemer. Who is a Redeemer? You know it. Yahweh Shai HaMashiach shall come to Zion. It didn't say he's going to come to Moab and Elam and Ishmael and Edom. No, he's going to come to Zion. And unto them that turn from their transgressions. And who? And Jacob. Yahweh. Yeah, it ain't say everybody else. Saith Yahweh Shem Shai. That's what the Lord say. That ain't what we, like, of course he put the words in our mouths to speak. But that's what he said. This is what he say. Scripture say what? The Lord is not the man that he should lie. So he said he gonna lift up a standard for Jacob. He gonna lift up a standard for Zion. And that's your other nations. And that's the bottom line. That it is what it is. You don't gotta like it. You don't gotta agree with it. But it is what it is. Death to you anyway if you against it. Rather you be a 2/3 or heathen. Don't even matter. Even though, like I said, I will state that, but the 2/3, they die. Lord willing, we won't be a part of that number, but they gonna come back blessed in the kingdom. After that, after being ashamed because they chose to choose Esau as their power, not Yahweh Shem Shai. But back to the point, when all these things come to pass, just hey, brothers and sisters, we just gotta, like I said, keep the faith, be steadfast, stand stiffly for the Lord, continue to believe, Salaki, and to have that faith. So I hope this lesson was edifying to any sincere Akim while Akwath out there listening. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone, who rule well. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this great gospel in sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abai, Babal.